Good afternoon, executives of the gaming industry. Thank you very much for being there, again, supporting us and watching our videos. This is another edition, a special edition right now to this G&M one-on-one cycle of interviews, personal, professional interviews with leading executives of the industry. Today, we have the privilege to have with you Eman Pulis. He is the CEO and founder of SiGMA Group. Thank you very much, Eman, for being there.
Thank you for having me.
So the main issue of this interview is to talk about people and to talk about professional careers as well. But thinking about people, thinking about your upbringing, thinking about the main issues of your past, we are interested to know about which values, which elements of your personal life your parents transmit to you in terms of how are you today, in terms of your personality, in terms of the main issues that you consider important in your life.
Well, when we talk about values, we're talking about something fundamental, that shapes our actions, shapes how we behave with people. And I think something that my parents passed on to me is to always look at finding ways to help each other, to help others. And I think what my parents instilled in me back then, to help others, has today become the core value of what I run as a business. So whenever we approach clients, whenever we approach delegates, whenever we approach speakers, it's not about what we can take from them, but it's always predominantly about what we can provide for them. How can we help them? What can we contribute to what they're already doing successfully? So our philosophy, quite frankly, has become give, and then perhaps ask. So we run that as our mantra, and it has served us really well so far.
We all, of course, love gaming. We are passionate about that, but we have other interests, other hobbies. In your case, I know that you are a truly sportsman. When I checked on your past and when you were starting your high school and those days, I know that you play soccer, football in a team in the second league of Malta. You also were an athlete in George Mason University in the United States. You are a scuba diver too. You have a certificate of that. I mean, you are a truly sportsman. What can you tell us about that part of your life?
Yeah, not football, but I used to be a student athlete at George Mason in Fairfax, Virginia. So I cherish that time in the United States. The way they train, I can tell you one thing, is excruciating. Very, very different from the way I was accustomed to in Europe. So yeah, I did track and field. I did triple jump for a long time, representing Malta, a small state, for some years. And I must say, the motivation, the perseverance, the dedication to my sport, eventually all those values, if I can call them that, transferred quite seamlessly to the way I look at my business. So I still go to work on a rainy day, and I mean by rainy day, I mean metaphorically. So I still pursue to accomplish what I started. I look at my employees, at the team, as also a squad. So I expect of my team to train as if they're playing in first division, in Premier League. So we don't like it when someone trains as if they're playing in third division. So we point that out straight away. Listen, you want to play in Premier League, you need to train like one. So a lot of metaphors which I collected throughout the years in my sports days, and now I execute also at the workplace. It's been great.
In the same way that when you are in sport, you have a clear focus, the same goes to the business industry in general. I mean, you started organizing events at a very young age. So you have a clear focus on doing that. You decided that was going to be part of your life. How did that start? The way of organizing events, and and trying to offer people of different industries information and content?
Yeah, good question. Funnily enough, when I was at university studying to become a teacher, someone approached me to organize a party. So it is an event, but it wasn't an expo. Someone approached me to organize a party back in 2003. And I said yes, not knowing what I was going into. And I can tell you one thing, the goosebumps I had on New Year's Eve 2004 was something that stays with me for the rest of my life. Um, the moment I saw thousands of people having a great time at a party which myself and my mentor had started, made me realize this is the industry where I want to be in, and I've never looked back since.
So 7 years ago, you had a vision. You had you anticipated what was going to happen in the iGaming industry, and you decided to create SiGMA. Did you really know what was going to happen? Did you imagine
Yeah,
the success it was going to
yeah,
have
I
that show 7 years there after that?
I had no vision at all. If I had to be completely honest, I was really naive of what it takes to build an expo. But when I used to organize parties, so I transitioned from organizing parties to organizing expos. And the transition wasn't because I was already in gaming. No, I was purely a party organizer. But the people who spent the most money at my parties were the people from the gaming community in Malta. So naively enough, I said, okay, I should stop organizing parties because they don't make enough money, and quite frankly, I'm not enjoying it anymore. I want to organize events that target specifically the gaming crowd. And that's where SiGMA, the summit of iGaming in Malta, took off. But I had no clue what an operator did, what a supplier did. I had no clue what the industry was made of. So the learning curve was very steep. Within a few months, I had to adjust myself to the new reality and keep plowing forward until the first show took off.
So you had to learn everything from ground zero. I guess you were surrounded by people with experience in the industry that, of course, gave you an idea, an outlook of the industry, but you have to start it from the beginning. But you were really successful. I mean, looking back, 7 years of the show, specifically of SiGMA show, you started with the show in Malta, and now it's a huge event in 4 continents, a gaming festival around the world. So, what do you think were the main moments of the show, the highlights of the event that make you think, well, I did what I planned. I mean, I achieved the goal.
Yeah, look, I'm a staunch believer that luck favors the brave. Um, Whether naive or whether you took calculated risks, um, I did make the first step after all back in 2013. So I remember still living with my parents with a broken laptop that could hardly work. I started emailing all the relevant people that I knew of. So the MGA, I emailed this, I emailed that. And I started slowly landing one meeting after the other. And I started talking about my dream of seeing Malta becoming a hub that has at least one showcase per year where it showcases what it's been doing so successfully in gaming. So yes, an element of luck, but also an element of perseverance. Lucky in the sense that I did the show in Malta, not knowing that Malta was such a great hub for gaming. So that made my life much easier to take off with the show. For example, if I did the show elsewhere, like Italy, or I don't know, any other country like Bulgaria, I don't know, probably the show wouldn't have taken off as successfully as it did in Malta with a base of already 10, 12,000 people working in the industry. So an element of luck, an element of perseverance, both played a crucial role.
And talking about Malta specifically, it's also important to remember that the country itself has a policy of promoting gaming, of a policy of open doors for investors to be there and to have their companies there. And besides the country and the government, there is an institution, the Malta Gaming Authority, that
Yeah,
has also taken the lead in the gaming issue and other issues as well. So they are like they gave you the the I mean the basis for you can adapt to the scene and to have a show that was so successful. I mean the scene was also important
definitely
for you to, yeah. So do you
they
think
were
yes, what can you tell us about the Malta Gaming Authority in particular and the help the country in promoting the gaming industry?
Sure, sure. I think the Malta Gaming Authority is doing a really good job regulating the space. It was one of the very first to actually create a regulatory framework for online gaming. The MGA doesn't really promote Malta as a jurisdiction. That is the role of Gaming Malta, who I must say does a sterling job promoting the island. So in Malta, there's two branches. There's the regulator, which is the MGA, and there's Gaming Malta, which is the promotional arm. So like that, there's no conflicting roles. Are you regulating or are you promoting? There's complete distinction of powers between the two. So yes, before when I started SiGMA, there was only the MGA, but now there's also Gaming Malta. Um, and I believe this dual body enhances also an element of governance that a European state requires to run such an important operation.
Two other important issues, two other important themes about gaming that you were taking a deeper look were and are affiliates and the blockchain element. In fact, you
Mhm.
have created another event, AIBC, that will be today in this show when we start in today
That's right.
this event. So how important are affiliates and the blockchain element in the gaming industry, and you have incorporated them in the show?
Yeah, as you correctly said, we have two great shows. We have a show in gaming, and we have another show in emerging technology. And by emerging technology, I mean six main pillars. That includes blockchain, AI, big data, quantum computing, Internet of Things, and fintech, financial technology. So the other show has all these six verticals within. Moving forward, because I know that those two verticals are always coming closer and closer to each other, we've decided to merge those two shows. So when people come to SiGMA, they're going to see the gaming show, but they're also going to see the emerging tech show. And we expect those two crowds to collide and do much more business, understand each other much better, thanks to the show that we're putting on.
Let's talk a bit about relationships. I mean, you are a leader of a company. We know that you have friends working with you, and that's important, long-term friends. Uh, but you have to take the lead role, and you have to try to transmit your vision, your goals to your collaborators. Which type of leader, what kind of leadership you think you're scripted in? Which type of leadership you like to take, and how do you think you can transmit that vision to your collaborators in the best way possible?
Yeah. Look, great question. And it's not up to me to decide what kind of leader I am. Um, I leave that in the hands of my team, my squad, to pass that judgment for me. Um, what I can tell you is that I'm still learning a lot. Until recently, I was a startup romantic. Now I'm realizing that when a company grows over a certain number of team members, so we're over 60 people by now, um, it's impossible to micromanage. So you have to be able to trust more. You have to be able to communicate more effectively. And these are all skills which I'm still learning today. So I wouldn't be able to answer you telling you I'm this kind of leader. I would rather let my team judge me for that.
And how do you deal with your own ego? I mean, being so successful, receiving recognitions, awards, but you have every day to fight against that ego, that internal conflict that you may have. So how do you
Oh,
deal as a leader? Yes.
there's no ego at all. I'll tell you one thing. Last year, I was honored to receive this award for outstanding contribution to gaming, to the gaming industry. And the minute I found out, I was still living in the Philippines, and I woke up to this great news, which I took with a smile. But the only thing I could think of is not the outstanding contribution which I gave to the industry, but the outstanding contribution that the industry gave to me. So thanks to gaming, today I have the greatest friends I could ever dream of. I have some of the brightest mentors that I've met in my life. And gaming, quite frankly, made me who I am today. So ego, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm most humbled to have been given such an opportunity to be in this industry, which I joined purely by chance in 2013. I think that's the best way I can answer your question.
Well, let's focus on markets. As you may know, this week we will have the SiGMA Americas event, a great event. You will also have a plan for next year about SiGMA Africa. Then we of course have the SiGMA Asia event, the SiGMA Europe. So there are lots of continents that the brand is covering right now. What can you tell us about that? I mean, why did you decide to focus on America? Why did you decide to focus on Africa for the next year? What do you know about gaming in those continents specifically?
Yeah. Look, when we started SiGMA 7 years ago, most of our clients were either targeting Scandinavia, they were either targeting German-speaking markets, or they were targeting UK markets. So it was mostly a Europe-focused show. Operators, suppliers, affiliates. However, the beauty of gaming is that it's truly becoming global. So today you have a company that's not only looking into Scandinavia, but with so much KYC, so much AML, so much fragmentation of regulatory bodies across Europe is stifling growth in Europe. So all these companies are looking at expanding into Africa, into Asia, into Latin America, into North America. And that's why we want to be part of that journey. We don't want the operators to settle in and then create the show. No, we want to create the show before operators start spreading their wings, because we want to be part of their journey and we want to be able for them to use us as a learning curve, as a steeper learning curve. So we decided to expand fast because we want to be able to be there for the industry when they need us the most.
Well, that's great. That's great. And you have did well. I mean, this week we will have lots of executives participating in the show, lots of exhibitors and experts in the industry talking about this market in particular. Let's focus on the future. I mean, there are lots of trends that we can anticipate on gaming. I'm really interested in Bitcoin, the gaming industry that you have introduced so well in the SiGMA brand. I'm also thinking about next year's events, but I guess you have a plan of 2 or 3 or 4 years in your mind. So what can you tell us about what are your future plans for the show, and what do you think? How do you think the industry will evolve?
Yeah, great question. I think the industry will evolve in a way where emerging technology, remember those 6 pillars I mentioned before, will all trickle into gaming more and more. And we are catering for that. So we have a good, solid network in emerging tech. and we also have a good, solid network in gaming. And we want those two verticals to collide in the next 3, 4, 5 years. We're not talking only crypto, but we're talking about so much more than that. So that's one. We also want to do a lot of good. So we have set up the SiGMA Foundation. And with the foundation, we want to be able to give people where we're doing our shows, whether it's in Sao Paulo, whether it's in Ghana, in Cape Town, in Kenya, in the Philippines, all countries where there's a huge need for education, we want to connect those people to the industry. So we're going to be giving free online courses with certification, where anyone who applies for these courses and sits for these courses can get certified and can use them with gaming companies to apply for remote work in the future. So we hope to be able to do a lot of good with the foundation as well as the SiGMA College.
So now this is the last question, and of course we thank you again for your participation, for sharing your knowledge and experience with us and with our viewers. On the last question, we usually talk about tourism. As you may know, tourism is strictly related to gaming. I mean, they are joined together. Hopefully, on the following months, we think that tourism will be open in different parts of the world. We hope we can visit different parts of the world. I've been in Malta, particularly on the last year. It was a great experience to me to know that country. But being you from Malta, you would be a better person to describe the main attractives of the country in terms of landscape, in terms of geography, in terms of food and people. What can you tell us about Malta for a future visitor that can go there and enjoy the country?
Yeah, I can tell you about Malta. I can tell you about all the shows where we're going. I take pride in promoting all the host cities that graciously host us every time we hold a SiGMA show, whether it's in Manila, in the Philippines, whether it's in Malta, whether it's in Sao Paulo, Brazil, whether it's in Ghana, in Accra, whether it's in Cape Town, in Africa. So what can I say about Malta? The country is predominantly reliant on tourism as a source for its GDP, for its wealth. So tourism is a main pillar. Gaming is also one of the pillars. And someone who comes to SiGMA, usually they always come, some of them, they always want to bring their wives, their family, because they want to spend some extra days holidaying in Malta. The weather is great most of the time, over 300 days a year of sunshine. So that's also something we like to do. Whenever we go to a place, we don't just pick a place for the sake of it. We want to make sure that there's an element of entertainment, an element of tourism, where all our delegates can get a holistic experience and not just purely gaming.
Eman Pulis, founder and CEO of the SiGMA Group, thank you very much for your experience, for participating on this cycle of GNM one-on-one cycle. And of course, all the GNM team wishes you the best of luck on this SiGMA Americas event that will take place this week, and on all your career and on the future events SiGMA will offer to the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One last comment. It's been a great inaugural journey to launch SiGMA Americas. And I must tell you, I must congratulate you guys for being so supportive all throughout. So a big kudos to GNM News. And I look forward to a stronger collaboration as months roll by as well. Thank you again, guys.
And thank you everybody that is out there watching this video and hopefully participating and being a great part of the SiGMA Americas event. We invite you, of course, to visit the SiGMA website and to participate, to register. If you haven't registered yet, please do it and participate. And you will be able to not only see products, but also to listen to highly experienced executives. So please be a part of this World Gaming Festival that is SiGMA Americas. Thank you very much. You can,
It's
yes, it's really, it's an exciting
it's
experience.
virtual.
Yes.
About the show, to all the GNM listeners, it's virtual, so you can tune in from the comfort of your own laptop at home. Just go on sigma.world, register. It's free. This one is on us. There's no registration fees. We look forward for you to be part of this.
Thank you very much. And we will see you on next videos, next interviews, and webinars we organize as we have been doing since April. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.